now hear myself again, for better or for worse. I'm using a different setup for the mic, so again, I have no idea if this is going to be better or worse audio quality. But if it's bad, just make sure to tell me and I'll switch it back to what it was. I know that there's going to be some minor crackles in the beginning, because there are always minor crackles in the beginning. I'm also using a different bit rate, so if there are any problems with the bit rate, be sure to tell me. Yes, I'm going to be playing this here. I saw it on Steam. It's free and looked pretty cool. I've never actually played a visual novel, though I've seen some played, so I'll just take a gander with it, and since it's free, see how it is. But it only came out like a few days ago, I think, so it's pretty new. All these options. Oh, okay. That's okay. Okay, I actually will read this stuff, but let's check in the stream bit rate here for a minute. It was doing something funky. Anyways, one of my two bodyguards wrapped his hand around the doorknob. Please prepare yourself, Miss Finty. Once I open this door, we'll head straight for our limo. The guard had no reason to fret. I had long since grown used to these crowds. Still, I nodded to put him at ease. After taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. A crowd of hundreds raised their cameras as soon as I stepped out. My guards waved their arms to shoo them away. This red carpet was for me to walk on, after all. I blew a kiss for these starstruck peasants. Odds of fame as hell. Miss Vinty, please, let us hurry, my bodyguard said. Too bad for him, I strutted along like a model on a catwalk. A group of reporters managed to worm through the crowd. They now tiptoed over my guards in hopes of scoring that exclusive. Vinty, how does it feel to have won another Calligrapher of the Year award? Where the hell does this take place such as a Calligrapher of the Year award? Anyway, a reporter asked me. Before I could answer, another dozen people shouted over each other, hoping for my attention. Vinty, may I get a photo of you, or with you? Can you sign some autographs for my kids, and 2 for me, of course? Wow. Just writing. I can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinty. And that name. My fans stamped their dirty shoes all over the red carpet. Finally, my bodyguards pulled out their pepper sprays to keep these fans in check. A young male reached in my direction despite having a spray aimed at his face. Rather admirable for a peasant. I extended a hand for this male fan to kiss. Unfortunately for him, he fainted at the sight of my perfectly polished nails. I reached my limousine at last. My bodyguards opened the door for me, and as I climbed in, my trailing fans snapped as many photos as they could. What the hell am I reading? I feel sorry for anyone else on this floor who can possibly hear me. Miss Vinty, Miss Vinty, the crowd chanted as my car window pulled up. How odd, they never referred to me as Miss. Oh, my grateful presence must have been too much for their sanity, these poor things. Sudden shift in graphics, what the hell? like a mock Miku figure or something. God damn people above me. Well, I had fun while it lasted. At least I got to ride in a limousine for a good 30 seconds. In real life, my only registered vehicle was, well, my 10-year-old bicycle. My apartment had no space for a car anyway. You don't exactly keep cars in your apartment. Actually, this single room with cracked walls might be an insult to the word apartment. Pull up those curtains for a spectacular $1 view, featuring a sewage pipe and a wall tainted with yellow. Just open the window if you wish to smell the sewage as well. A breathtaking experience. By the way, sorry, I needed to take back the one-room thing. This place actually had 2 rooms, thank you very much. The second room happened to be a toilet. That still counted, right? The toilet clogged 3 times a month, so be careful when using it. 3 times a month isn't too much. I've seen worse where I live. Miss Vinty. A woman's voice echoed from outside. She was no fan, rather my landlady. I glanced over at my clock. 6 a.m. Waiting another hour or 2 would have been nice. She probably just wanted to tell me about another rent rise. Nothing good ever came out of that woman's mouth. I'd be better off staying in bed. Yeah, fuck the landlady. I snuggled back in my blanket. The landlady could knock all she wanted, but my focus was on my calligraphy dreams. I had no time for these common folk matters. A week later. Turned out the landlady was chasing me for my rent. By the time I realized she had already evicted me, and I lived on the streets with nothing but my calligraphy. The past few nights had been freezing cold, and I ran out of tissues to wipe my runny nose with. To make things worse, I could feel my head heating up from an upcoming fever. Might interest you in buying one for my works? I got a 2-for-1 deal today. Bad end. Wow, that was quick. Okay, let's skip through this then, back to the point where we obviously have to make a good choice. Time to go meet the maker then. Coming as I changed into something more appropriate. The landlady still kept knocking. I said I was coming, did I not? Maybe I should walk out naked if that's what she dug. If this were a game, we might get a sale boost too. Good morning, Miss Vinty, the landlady said. I might ask, what's with that hair? It looks like you just woke up. Oh, shithead, it's only 6 in the morning, so, that's because I did. It's a waste for young ladies like you to sleep away your youth. The young lady, landlady shook her head. She had no right to preach to me like this. I wanted to tell her, but decided against it, as doing so would give her an excuse to lecture me further. With her size, if I enraged her, she would squash me into a Vinty-flavored pancake. Miss Vinty, your rent was due 3 days ago. Well, at least there was no rent increase. Sorry, madam, my next paycheck will come after tonight's shift, so I'll pay you first thing tomorrow morning. The landlady grunted. Alright, just know that if this keeps up, you'll have to find somewhere else to live. What is this music? This reminds me of the music in those asteroid levels in the first Earthworm Jim game. She spun around to leave. Once she disappeared behind the corridor, I kicked my door shut, causing a piece of my cracked wall to fall off. I tried shoving the piece back in place, but my effort resulted in more wall fragments flaking off. Great, the landlady would make me pay for that next month. Once I became an accomplished calligrapher, she would beg for a chance to shine my shoe. So that's pretty much the premise of this entire story. This person is trying to sell calligraphy. I think it takes place in China, so I sounded a bit ranty before, but that was never my intention. A lot of famous people had humble beginnings. I'd follow in their footsteps, but first, I need to put in the work. Nice art. Oh, and one reason, just as an aside, why I'm not doing like much for voices and stuff is because it's late and the walls around my dorm are finished shit, so don't expect too much for voices at the moment, but if I do get an opportunity where I feel I can do voices, I'll definitely do them, but not tonight. Assuming this game lasts more than a few streams. Anyways, and so I returned to the busiest street in my area. With my calligraphy spread before me, I sat on the concrete and rested my back against the fence. Car horns blared behind me, mixed with people shouting things about each other's mother. What? Okay. Typical China. These cars kept expelling fumes that made me choke. Just one of the many things I dealt with in the name of art. Pedestrians took up almost every inch of space on the street ahead. Surely this would be the day when somebody spotted my talent. I don't know, that calligraphy, as somebody who studies Japanese and ergo has to learn these characters, that calligraphy looks like something I would do, and I'm no calligrapher by any stretch of the imagination. Dot, dot, dot. Even more dots. Let's just keep piling dots on. As always, no one afforded me anything more than a passing glance. My will soon dwindled. Let me be honest, I never expected to be showered with praise by every head who passed here. What was that old saying? 10% of the people you reached out to will buy your work? Could live with that. Just 1%. Please, anything but 0? I wanted to scream at these people. They had no idea how much sweat I poured into these calligraphies. Sweaty calligraphies. I actually recognize some of these kanji. Anyways, great. This is a moment where I probably should have fucking saved it. I decided to keep these pleasures to myself. People often said patience would be rewarded. I wondered if my patience would ever become worthwhile. Just as I thought this, a man paused to look at my calligraphies. He had a bucket of fried chicken in his hand. The smell made my mouth water. It's just Colonel Sanders, it's all good. As the man eyed my works one by one, I felt my cheeks heating up from anticipation. At last, someone who spared more than a moment with my works. This must be my reward. The timing could hardly be more perfect. I summoned the courage to speak with the man, but he spoke first. You're charging for these? I managed a tiny nod. The man snorted. I'd never hang these on my wall, even if you gave them to me for free. Seriously, this is the most shameless display I've ever seen. Posh bastard with his fried chicken. Trolls online were one thing, confronting one in real life was a rarity. Judging from the man's scrawny arms, I bet I could overpower him with ease. Then he would know just how big of a blunder he had made. Let's just save this before anything happens. I did save it for a reason, so beat the shit out of him. I crunched up one of my calligraphies in rows. The man must have sensed my violent intent as he backed a step and shielded his face with a bucket of chicken. I threw a punch at him before he could flee into the crowd. My fist connected with the side of his head. That marked the first time I had ever hit someone. My knuckles hurt from the blow, but seeing the guy's dropped jaw made it worthwhile. He probably grew up this way because no one ever dared to punish him. A couple of pedestrians popped in and held me back from attacking the man further. I squirmed against their grips but gave up as my anger waned. Once my breathing returned to normal, the civilians loosened their hold and I brushed myself free. I'll remember this. The man fled for the station, eating another piece of chicken as he did so. I hope he choked on it. Great, so probably gonna get mugged in the station. Yep. Next morning, someone knocked on my door. I checked the clock, 5 a.m. When the landlady cut me a break. This is when like the fucking hitman pops up. Oh no, the police. Okay, that's cool. Miss Vinci, it's the police. I cupped a hand over my mouth as if keeping quiet would make the police go away. They must be here to ask about my assault yesterday. That guy punched was nothing but talk. I should have let him ramble. God knew what would befall me now. I prayed I would at least be spared a jail sentence. Tears streaked down my cheeks as I buried myself under the blanket. This had to be nothing more than a bad dream. Bad end. It was worth it. We got to smack Colonel Sanders. Alright, we already passed this point. Folks always said to ignore trolls. I clenched my teeth and stayed put. After chuckling in my face, the man started off. Determined to prove him wrong, I continued to sit and wait for potential customers. Another 1,000 people walked by without sparing me a look. Lingering here any longer would be a waste of time. As I packed my things, I insisted I was leaving because my part-time job started in an hour. Deep inside, I knew that man's words had rocked my conscience. Giving up on calligraphy would mean I had wasted all this time over nothing. And if I lacked the gift of persevering, would mean I just die, so great. Would make things worse. Tears welled in my eyes, and I clenched my fist, still holding them back. Speaking of tears, I heard a kid crying within the crowd. Looked like we had lost a child on our hands. Some pedestrians shot in glances, but none of them offered more than that. These really were horrible people. To cheer myself up, I told myself I would never want my calligraphies to be owned by people like that. I should help the kid without me being late for my job. Let's save it again. Sure, help the kid. If I judged others for abandoning a child and did the same myself, I'd be a jerk and a hypocrite. With a sigh, I walked up to the boy. But granted, I wonder how there's a bad ending if I went to my job with the kid have like stolen a car and ran me over or some shit. Wow. I'm kind of glad at this point I'm not using voices. There, it's okay. Did you lose Mummy? The boy was sobbing too hard to answer. I leaned in and stroked his back with one hand and his head with the other. Let me know if you lost Mummy, okay? I'll help you find her. So there's no need to be scared. The kid managed to nod at last, and I whispered good boy into his ears. What's your mummy's name? hungry. Must be one of them Chinese names. Her name is Hungry? The boy's tummy growled, and I realized what he meant. Oh, well, how about I buy you a sandwich? The kid shook his head. I want ice cream. Wow, beggars can't be choosers, jackass. Hey kid, ice cream is more of a dessert, actually. I want ice cream. And so ice cream it was, one for him and none for me. The money came out of my pocket, of course. My poor, poor wallet. At least this kid could have eaten the whole thing rather than let half of it melt on his shirt. Jesus Christ. Jessie, the boy said. That's Mummy's name. Jessie, I called as I strode along the street. Now people stared at me more than ever. Enough to make me blush. In fact, maybe I should try shouting Jessie at random the next time I saw my calligraphies. The sky turned orange as time ticked by. Yes, I knew my shift started half an hour ago. Stop reminding me. I didn't remind you. A woman squeezed through the crowd and scurried towards us. She ran past a red light, nearly getting hit by a truck in the process. Mummy, the boy shook free from my hold and rushed into his mother's embrace. After muttering apologies to her son, the woman gazed towards me. Oh, thank you so much for your help. You're wonderful. Just wonderful. Gold, can I buy my calligraphies and sell them? The torrent of praises curled my lips into a stupid grin. Anyone would have done the same thing. Please, if there's anything I can do in return. Wow, can I please speak? That'd be the first thing I can do in return. Please, if there's anything I can do in return, just let me know, the mother said. Actually, there is something I need help with. The mother nodded. Anything in my power, miss. It's way back to the train station. God, this music again. The sky had gone dark by the time I arrived at work. I opened the restaurant door gingerly to avoid making any noise. Stealth mode switched on. They called me Ninja Vinti for a reason. Miss Vinti, the voice from my boss nearly made me jump onto the ceiling fan. Sorry I'm late. I wanted to explain, but my boss glared at me, and my tongue slurred out a bunch of syllables. Oh, well, sounds like me reading, so it's all good. My explanation was in there somewhere. Probably. Maybe. I received an earful from my boss, but at least I got to keep my job. Several colleagues shot me frowns for not being here during such a busy period. In the end, I took all the blame without complaint. Well, at one point, I locked myself inside a toilet and screamed into the bowl. What? Okay. So I might or might not have fantasized about dunking my workmate's head into the toilet. That was for me alone to know, though. At least I earned the paycheck needing to keep my landlady quiet for another month. As for the month after that, we would see when the time comes. All I wanted was to pursue my art, but reality kept pressuring me toward finding a second job. An interesting art style, I guess. I mean, typical anime kind of art style, but I just find it interesting. It's different for me. On my way home, I spotted a banner for an upcoming visual novel called Princess Aria. The game had been long hyped on every forum I knew. Amazing art, along with a cast of famous voice actors. The writing and composer were big names too, or the writer and composer were big names too. For your Princess Aria to have an ad this big, there must be a lot of money put behind the project. The way this banner hung high gave me the sense it was extra important. Bright light shone on the princess's face to impress potential players. Yes, that was what I really needed. If I had a banner like that, no doubt people would line up to buy my calligraphy. I could already imagine how folks would react as they walked along the streets. This can only be bad. I think that was Venti. Wow, no way, you mean that famous calligrapher? Bleh. There's that slurring again. That famous calligrapher I see on all those banners? Yeah, she must be really good. Maybe we should ask for her autograph. My agent would then step in to speak on my behalf. Please line up in an orderly fashion, everyone. How much for an autograph? Shut up and take my money. My agent nodded in response. Autographs are available for $100, thanks. Jesus Christ. That'd be $100, thanks, the game shop's owner said. Princess Arya cost twice what I had predicted. If I bought the game, I would have too little left for rent. I opened my wallet, hoping I might have more cash on hand, and I realized turned out I had less, actually. I hung my head in the storekeeper's side. His arc brows pressured me into buying a game. What? Okay, learn to keep note of punctuation, please. I did ride 3 trains to get here. Might as well pick up something. I told the shopkeeper how much money I had, and he shook his head. The store owner pulled out a different game from under his table. He brushed away the dust on it so I could see the cover. The title read Sunflower War. Some visual novel about the battlefield. What battlefield? What battle had sunflowers fighting? Is this like Plants vs. Zombies or some shit? Copyright 1997, the bottom read. No wonder it was so cheap. Art by Invert Mouse, whatever the heck that was. The front cover would fit perfectly in a kindergarten classroom. I flipped the case to see what was highlighted on the back. This game supported up to 640 by 480 resolution. Truly the pinnacle of technology. Well, you know, I've played some good 640 by 480 games before. But Lords of Magic is definitely one of my favorites. The shopkeeper grimaced. He must have sensed I wanted to say no. His stare made my palms stain with sweat, and I ended up buying the game. But dealing with folks like that always had been a weakness of mine. I don't mean to never visit the store again. Who's that picture? With heavy strides, I returned to my apartment. 0 calligraphy sales, late for work and rent, topped off by blowing cash on some game I had no interest in. What I really wanted to play was Princess Arya. Forcing myself to suffer anything else would just upset me further. Glad I quick saved. You know, Planet could give her inspiration, but a lack of sleep is bad. Fuck it. I did spend money on Sunflower Wars. Might as well give it a go. The day left me plenty drained, so this relic of a game would do a good job putting me to sleep. I've played games like that too. Poxnor is a good example. Decent idea, terrible execution. I switched on my laptop and inserted the disc, which I partly hoped would fail to load from old age. Too bad it worked just fine. No doubt a lot of people were loving Princess Arya right now. Meanwhile, here I was, enjoying this 640 by 480 godsend. No voice acting either. These illustrations looked like they were done by a child. I'd be better off closing my eyes and imagining my own artworks. This person really just doesn't have respect for the classics. So look at these nice sunflowers. I don't know what freaking child would be able to draw that well, because I certainly couldn't draw that well. The grass reached up to our knees. As I read along, I painted an image of the scene in my head. Plants rustled as we walked through. We paused once every few steps, fearing there might be snakes hiding among the bushes. What bushes? These are sunflowers. Somehow we managed to survive the evening. The sun surged from beyond the horizon, outlining the earth with an orange glow. Slowly, the blue sky emerged and vanquished the darkness that had haunted us. As light bathed the soil, I found myself in a field of sunflowers. I love how the art is just improving with each thing. It's nice. I'd imagined this place to look far more terrifying, but anxiety had merely been playing tricks on me. I drew a deep breath to savor the morning fragrance. In the distance, birds chirped as if plotting our survival. I could see it, not only that, but touch, hear, and smell too. An experience crafted by my imagination. The image rivaled the strokes of any artist, and it belonged to me alone. This fulfillment inspired me to take things further. What? You take things further? You put a pot on your head? This image, I don't know why I'm laughing, but I just find it hilarious. This is quite nice. I like this. The blast of gunfire deafened us as we dove behind the wall. A bullet was past the tip of my helmet. Sam had passed this helmet on to me with her dying breath. I would carry on her legacy. Quality helmet. The desert heat pinched sweat out from my every pore. I desperately wanted to empty this water bottle down my throat, but with no help in sight, I must conserve every drop. Joe's eyes closed, this time never to reopen. Despite our promise to survive together, I only managed to live. I wished I could take her place. I finished reading Sunflower War right as the clock struck 3 a.m. Oh my god. How so many people had missed this classic left me dumbfounded. See, classics are good. Go play Return to Krondor, it's a good game too. Actually, that would be a lie, as I too had every intention of tossing this game aside. I kept demanding excitement without offering an ounce of passion in return. If I played my part, I might be able to discover so much more. As Sunflower War's credits rolled, I realized just how small the development group was. The team probably knew they stood no chance against the bigger studios, yet they still did their best with dated technologies to deliver a vision they believed in. Wow, okay, that's a bit weird. Sorry, I'm looking at the frames, and for whatever reason, I'm dropping quite a few frames. I'm just gonna blame my cunty internet as usual. It's just being extremely unstable for absolutely no reason. But anyways, back to the story. The happiness they felt when working on the project poured out of every line in this game. I could gaze right into their hearts. Heart, the thing I had long neglected. What is with this V-shaped smile? Oh. Mommy, Daddy. Vinci, what is it, darling? Look, it's my calligraphy. Honey, it's calligraphy, but that's great. I think you have a lot of talent. Doesn't look like her calligraphy's grown much since when she was a kid. Again, still better than mine. Like, shit, but... This is so much fun. I'm going to become a calligrapher. It is fun if you've got good brushes for it. I'd forgotten the last time I found joy in calligraphy. Every stroke these days felt like a grocery chore. All I obsessed over is how much, or rather how little, people paid attention to my efforts. My works no longer possessed heart, and I failed to notice it. Time to do something about that. I could hardly wait to start. After all, I chose this path because I loved it. That cheeky smile again. The next day I ventured outside with a new set of calligraphies. Though I made no sales thus far, I still found myself beaming. That might explain why some people smiled back. Perhaps it was the weather, but I swore everyone felt warmer today. No, it was probably the weather. Mummy, there she is, the ice cream lady. Oh god, I don't know if that's exactly what you want to be known as. A boy dragged his mother in my direction. It was that kid I helped out yesterday. The mother and I exchanged nods. Honey, the lady has a name. It's rude to call her the ice cream lady. Yeah, that is true. What's her name then? Oh my, it's... well... sorry, what is it? It's Vinty. The mother slapped her boy on the back. See, her name is Miss Vinty. Mummy, can we buy one of these doodles from the ice cream lady? Doodle must be another word for top-of-the-line calligraphy. No other explanation could restrain me from shaking the brain out of this boy. My name was nowhere inside that little brain anyway. The mother checked her wallet and her face scrunched up the way mine often did. All good, madam. I knew how it felt to be living on the edge. The edge of being homeless. Yeah, crotchety old landlady. Please. God, skip the P out of most of that. The boy nagged on. This showed why I would never have kids. The mother relented at last and bought one of my works. Guess the boy wanted to repay my kindness. I gave his hair a ruffle as thanks. After flashing his missing tooth with a grin, he pulled his mother back into the crowd. Well, at least I scored better marks than yesterday. The other man strolled toward me. Wow, I was on a roll now. Hard on my side, my fame and fortune had arrived. Clean my shoes, peasants. It's really not the attitude you should have, this. Hey, it's you again, the man said. Ah, the troll from yesterday. A troll. I calmed my thoughts to avoid causing a scene. Maybe the guy came to apologize. Even a creep like him must know how rude he had been. Yes, my aura had cleansed him of all evil thoughts. Go on, empty your wallet at my greatness. This woman has some real vain thoughts. Wow, these new scribbles are even worse than the ones you brought last time. That cheeky smile. There's something devious going on here. Is it just me, or has she not opened her eyes the entire game? Maybe it was in the beginning when she just woke up. I don't know. I feel like she has not opened her eyes at all. Then dramatic pauses. What? Crazy calligrapher dubstep remix. What? Somehow I had turned into an internet celebrity. Top comment. Damn snap. Wow, she went full crazy. Lol. Triangle mouth. at 07 Illuminati. She be like, why you know bye? More like this might be a good time to look at that second job. What? Was that seriously the end of this? I mean, I heard it was short, but I mean, it's a free game, whatever. That was a rather abrupt ending, but other than that, I kind of enjoyed it. I feel there is definitely something oddly relatable with the character. Maybe because my streams and videos get 0 views to Psychic Calligraphy, but I feel like a lot of people could probably just relate with this character, I think. Just because of, you know, you want to do something, but then it almost always just kind of never gets any sort of credit or popularity or anything, regardless of how much work you put into it. And then, of course, with like internet and stuff, sometimes you just see that random things like at the end just go crazy and blow up. But this is a nice little short thing to stream. I liked it. And being as it's free, which it is free, I definitely would recommend I guess, playing. I mean, you've pretty much seen the storyline. Obviously, if you make any other choices, you've done goofed and you end, but from what I know, I think there was only one developer on this game, and I'm not sure if it was like a first game or something that was made, but I like this. This was a nice little short thing to get into for a night. I think it was nice. I kind of wish I wasn't where I was, where I am now. That I could have maybe done better voices and probably given the reading a lot more justice than I did. Because the writing is generally kind of funny. It's a bit awkward at times, but there was a couple parts that I thought was slightly awkward. But other than that, I think the writing is nice. It's casual. It's typically what you'd find people saying. So yeah, I think it's nice to play. So it's also late, so I kind of did want to do a short stream, so I won't stream anything else. But this was definitely a nice thing to play, and it's free on Steam rather. So if you want to pick it up, have at it. But that's all for tonight. Then I'll probably be back tomorrow with other stuff. I just haven't. I've been really busy, so I haven't had much time to do streaming. But I'm gonna try to get some stuff in this weekend. So, see you then.